Hey, she's going. Here she is. Hey, I know, girl. Hey, settle down. Hey, I know. Settle down. Jesus. Yeah, she knows the energy, all right. Huh? Yeah. I know, girl. Yeah. Yeah, I know. She wants that energy. I know. Yeah, she's a free spirit. I do, baby. Yeah. I know, baby. What it means to be free. This is a free spirit right here. Okay, I'm a free spirit. I know what it means to be free. Whoops. Turn the camera around. Yeah. I know what it means to be free. Okay, I do. Um, that's why when I was a child growing up, it's like it's an insult. Don't impose your will on me. I can do whatever the hell I want. I can look like whatever the hell I want. I can present myself in whatever way I want because I am what love is. That's a free spirit. Okay, all you have to do is go in nature. You see how nature presents itself to us. Comes in all kinds of colors, forms, shapes, doesn't it? And sound, making music. So you know the same energy is flowing through me is the same energy that's flowing through everything in nature. Okay? Make your presentation. Okay? Otherwise, you're not an artist. You're not a real artist. Because you're in fear. You're in fear of being that creative. You're in fear of being that expressive. That's called resistance. And that resistance comes from the trauma. I know that. Goddess knows how much I experienced on this whole planet being here with all of you. Love is music. Love is freedom. Even though they put the DOM on the back, right? Because that's what they do. Remember when, what's his name, the guy that wrote Doors of Perception? What's his name, Aldous Huxley? You know, this guy said this in 1963. He didn't put a year on it because I don't think about time. There's only what love is. This stuff. Living trees, living dogs, living grass. Everything that's alive and living in spirit. We dance with all the spirits that are on fire with you. Because they realize how much fire you bring to the table. That's called a campfire. There's a spirit in that fire. Okay? So they reverse everything. Walt Disney called Spirit of Fire a demon. Jesus. The spirit of the fire is the most powerful spirit there is. Has to be. That's what burns off all the goo. Okay, it began with fire. How much fire you got on that soul of yours? How much you're willing to serve? That's really what it is. Okay, because if you want to be the most powerful spirit there is, that's in the spirit of fire, because that'll burn off anything that is less than what the purest of light is, which is the purest of love. And when you're experiencing the purest of love, then you already know it comes natural. Because the flow of that energy is so powerful, you already realize through your own heart and soul, there's no way that much energy could ever creatively in one moment or the next share with you how much energy that actually is you have at your disposal, because it's flowing through you to communicate to others wherever there's life. Because it's so vast already within its own energy machine. It's not a machine, it's an engine. It's an engine that's on fire. Absolutely on fire. And you can experience the spirit of that fire that is in that light, even in the smallest of ages. That's what they call hypersensitive or a hyper engine. That's what it is. It's a hyper engine. It's energy that can't sit still. Okay? Because it wants to create so much stuff. Because its creative energy is on fire. Plug into this little engine. This is just a child. You want those kinds of engines at that early an age. That's what they fear. That's why they go after our children. That's the truth of it. Because they learn so fast. Something clicked on in their mind, their soul's consciousness, and realized, look how much power we have when we are what love is. That's exactly right. It is the same energy we equate with, but by virtue of how it works, which is the law of least effort, it's like fail-safe built in. Which means there isn't any reason that your energy is ever being used to do anything other than be what love is, and that's the energy that you're running on, which is an engine of creation. So it's moving at a very high rate of speed because you're vibrating at such a high rate of speed. Okay. That's the truth of it. You know that it's the truth because you're experiencing the energy. So you know that love is the truth. So you know that love is what's real. So if you're experiencing what love is, you know that's what's real. You know that's the engine that created the real universe with because it's on fire. So you're experiencing the spirit of fire. So ask Mr. Walt Disney if he can clone the spirit that's in that fire. Oh, man. Spirits, living spirits. That's right. We're living spirits. So, I never thought about contracts because they're unnecessary, because it's like I made a contract with the grand creator, the source from which the hottest fire engine burns. So that's like experiencing the orgasm of the seed of the universe that has seeded everything that's alive and living in the all creation. And yet you're the flower, which is the mother side, being one. Okay? That's when you become truly fearless. That's what it means to be fearless, now that you want to be the hottest spirit of fire. By joining forces. But it's not force per se. Force is design. It's much like having your willness, your true free will willness, to never, ever, ever experience seeking to control anything, because you need that energy. That's what it is. Because if you're willing to hold on to one minute particle of energy, no matter how small it is, because you're in fear of losing energy yourself, you've lost. Because fear is a lie. It means you fear being the most powerful creative engine. That's why they strip the creative side out of children right away and begin the programming, which actually starts throughout the entire cellular memory of mitochondria. Actually, you can trace it through everything that's been connected, that experienced each other being connected, that ever experienced a loss of light, ever. Because once you've experienced being what love is in spirit, and then you experience a loss of light in you as a result of loss in light in another, that's trauma. I know, because that's what I experienced when you're hypersensitive. And I mean hypersensitive, to where anything is out of balance anywhere, because the flow of the waves, which is the flow of the energy, you're experiencing something that's out of balance. You're not experiencing what love is. So you know that's what it began with. So that means I'm what love is in living spirit. That will always be my last breath in this, and I've known that since I was a child, no matter what happens. Okay, if I am the last spirit standing of fire that is in that light, I will be the last one standing here in spirit that is in that light. So you know that as an individual, a soul, your soul and your spirit is protecting your soul. You know who you are. So you know on a spiritual battlefield where so many have been taken down, okay, that you realize that you're not alone because you're with the most powerful engine. right? But you realize that the entire terrain is masked. It's masked. It's like one big stage that you're on. And then identifying who all the characters are. Take your mask off. Who are you really? Your mask off. That's the technology side of shit. See? So it's foolery. It's tomfoolery. Gaming you. Gaming all of us. Okay? Which really means they want your mind's energy. They want your soul's energy. Because of how powerful you are in spirit. So now you're a ripe target. The more powerful you are in spirit and energy, the bigger the target you are. Now they can really feed on you. Because that's what they are. They're energetic vampires. So they use their tech. Because they realize they don't accelerate their learning at that rate of speed. When the universe is catching on, which means it's getting more intelligent by virtue of being more creative, that means the engines of fire are lit. That's your spirit. That's my spirit. Because in any spiritual battlefield and spiritual war, it's an energy war. So the more powerful your spirit, the more powerful your energy. The more powerful energy and you're creative, now you're accelerating at a higher rate of speed with other accelerators that are moving with you, that are playing that music. So that's why when I was growing up as a kid, it was like, they're telling you what the temperature is outside. I'll just go outside and see for myself. Okay? It's like, it could be that temperature where you're at that you're reporting it because you're putting the numbers up, but hey, I'm going to go outside and I'll find out for myself. I got an antenna. My antenna will get it figured out. Okay? So this is like wanting to dump all the TVs and all the men, just trash all their shit. Okay? These people don't know what they're doing. They're not who we are. Yet they're part of the same universe. What happened? Because they're not experiencing what love is. Why do they have so much resistance? Why is there so much resistance to experience what love is? Because they don't know how to put the weapons down. That's why. They don't. And the reason is fear. Because somewhere in their past history, they had that memory that goes along that bloodline, those genetics, somewhere along the line, because we're all connected, there is resistance being experienced there, which means it's got a limited capacity to experience more light, which means it's got a limited capacity as an antenna to experience higher waves and better music that are in peace, that are in harmony, and they are in rhythm, because the flow of the music is in rhythm, which means, wow, they caught on to the first musicians that know how to play music and tune in the most beautiful music that allows us all to be in peace with each other. They used to have a program back in the 50s, I think it was called the Soul Train. Catch on the Soul Train, right? See, there was a guy, I think his name was called DSAHK. I would love to meet this guy sometime, but he put up a lot of videos, okay, that showed a lot of all kinds of stuff, actually. I mean, it was everything from fucking robots, right? And then showing, for example, how he was showing camera footage of like a test, means testing, right? Had a robot out there in a mall at a four-way intersection, which is a tetrahedron inside of a mall, inside of a building, a confined space. And to see how children going through the mall were going to react, what appears to be a, if you will, self-contained unit or an individual unit, in and of itself is able to move. You know, in other words, is it under remote control or is it under its own control? But it's not about control, because we know all about control. Control is their dilemma. They can't let go. Which means they don't want to let go of your energy. Because that's what they want. They want your soul's energy. Because they're fallen. Otherwise, they'd be powerful. Right? If they are what love is and they're experiencing what love is, they're experiencing more power. So when they're experiencing what love is and we're experiencing what love is, they're not doing any harm. They're not trying to control anything. They don't need to, because love is what frees their spirit. So even though you can think of, yeah, but I got eyeballs, and that is a surveillance system. That's right. That's so you can see all the colors of the artist. The artist that's in there is the same artist that's in you, because that's your mirror that you're experiencing it with. So if you're experiencing being what love is, then you're in love with your mirror. So everything that's in your mirror, you're in love with. That's a love mirror, which is a light mirror, which is a living spirit with a soul. Right? So you see where the resistance comes in. See, so this is why when I was a child, I'm checking the resistance. I'm going to put all kinds of costumes on and see how you react to that. Because all you got to do is look around in nature, and what do you think that is? That's a stage. This for me, it's like living in heaven. Because the heaven is what we feel in our heart and our soul. See, with me, I prefer to use the word feel. And I always put my left hand on my heart. Because I've known ever since I was a little kid and I had this thing up and running. You communicate through your heart what you feel. How deeply we feel. How deeply we feel is how deeply sensitive we are to everything. Which is like, I dare not say anything. Oh no. Am I doing it out of fear? Or am I doing it out of being so sensitive to know that if I communicated something in this language, it might lower your frequency, or it might cause a disturbance in your water worlds. And since I'm in a state of peace and I am experiencing what love is, then I don't want to rock your boat. I don't want to rock the water. I don't want to make no waves. No distorted waves in your water, buddy or girlie. No waves. I won't make any waves in you. And we used to call that as children. Don't make no waves.